For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned. You know, this is something that I've always brought up. I've always brought up the importance of your words, uh, the importance of your thoughts, the importance of your words. Because your words are such powerful beings. Your words are so powerful, right? The word says there is life and death in the tongue. There is life and death in the tongue. So which means you can speak life over a person's life, or you can speak death over a person's life, right? That is why there was this other lady that I saw on X, on the X app, Elon Musk's app, and it was actually, I think it was, yeah, I saw it on X, but someone else posted it. I don't know if it came from TikTok, I don't know if it came from Instagram. But the lady was saying that when two people or three people gather to speak bad about another person, when two people or three people gather to speak bad or to speak negativity over a person, she was saying that that is sorcery. That is sorcery. That is a form of witchcraft. That is sorcery. That is witchcraft, because when you speak bad on someone, or when you say that someone is this, or someone is dumb, someone is an idiot, someone is, I don't know, someone is useless, when you use such words and you place them onto a human being, right? When you place them onto that human being, that is bad. You will be asked at the end of your life, when you there on the judgment day, when you face your creator in the end, when you are face to face with your creator, he will ask you, why did you do that, right? And when he asks you, why did you do that, he will show you exactly the scene. He will show you the memory. He will show you the image of what you were doing, and he will say, why did you do that, right? But he will not say, why did you do that, as in a question. It is a question, but it is a rhetorical question. He's like, why did you do that, right? To show you, and you will not have an answer for that, right? Because the word says we will be acquitted for our words, we will be condemned for our words, and in the end we will be condemned for our words after we die, in the afterlife. Why? Because it shows the importance that words have, the power that words have, that the creator is saying, yo, do not speak ill of a person in this way. Do not speak ill of that person, right? You are allowed to criticize. Please understand, you are allowed to criticize a person. You are allowed to show tough love. You are allowed to show tough love to a person. You are allowed to criticize a person. But there is a difference between showing tough love and criticizing, and then there's this side of you being either judgmental, or like be speaking negative, or just being a nasty person, and just being nasty and just being bad to that person, and just speaking bad about that person, right? There's a difference between those two things, and we must strive to correct. Be a person that corrects. Don't be this person. Be a person that corrects. Be a person that criticizes, so that that person can shift, can change their ways. If it isn't something that they are doing that is a negative, or if it is a sin, or if it is something that could be detrimental to your group, or if you have a group project or whatever, that is the way to, there is a proper way to do things, right? Not this way. This way is not the way. And yes, there are spiritual repercussions to the words that we say. Again, I'll say there are spiritual repercussions to the words we say. There are physical repercussions to the words we say. There are future repercussions to the words we say. Right? Even our thoughts are a part of this, right? Even what we think. I think thoughts are even more potent because thoughts are spiritual beings. Right? No idea is unique. The idea that you just had an hour ago, the idea that you had 2 hours ago, there is a human before you that had that idea. There is a human before you that has had that idea that you have gotten right now, or 2 hours before, or yesterday. The idea that you got yesterday, a human like you has gotten that idea before. The difference is that that human did not act on that idea, and so that idea detached from him and it went to another human being, right? If an idea is not acted on, that idea will leave you and it will go to another human being. Why do you think sometimes when a few hours pass, or the next day when you think, what was that idea? What was that idea again? What is that idea again? You're trying to remember the idea that you thought of. You can't remember that idea that you thought of because you didn't act in time. You weren't acting in time. You didn't do the action in time to convince the idea that is in you that you will act upon it. The idea that is in you wants you to act upon it. The idea is there to see if will you be the human being that acts upon me? Will you be the human being that acts right upon me? That is what the idea is there for. If the idea sees that you will not act upon it, it will leave you. It will leave you. Right. And that is why there's a limited time period for that, right? And so, even when it comes to words are builders. Words can be builders, words can be destroyers. Words can build a little girl. When you speak positivity to a little girl, oh, you are so beautiful, princess. Oh, you look lovely, princess. Oh, especially as an older male or an older male figure, when you build the person up, right? That woman or that woman will have a balanced self-esteem because they've been built up by other women and they've been built up by other males. And so that is how essential words are. They can be builders or they can be destroyers. If you are an educator, as an educator, it is so essential that you only speak positive things. Don't get frustrated at a student if a student is not getting it. For if you speak negativity on that student's life, right, if you say that student is useless or whatever, right, there is a strong chance that that student won't make it, right? And then when you get to the end of your life and when you are facing your creator is gonna ask you, why did you speak negative of my creation, right? Because we are all God's creation, and so the creator will ask you, why did you speak these things over my creation? Why did you speak these things over my creation? Over my being, over my son, over my daughter. How could you speak these things over my son? How could you speak these things over my daughter? Why did you do that? Alright. And it is so essential, so essential for us to be encouraging, for us to be in a mindset of uplifting. So essential, right? As human beings, to uplift each other, right? I'm not saying don't hold each other accountable. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't hold each other accountable, right? All I'm saying is let us uplift each other as human beings, right? It's important. For your words will be acquainted and you will be condemned by your words, right? So let's do better.